Chapter 88, Using the Sea as Cultivation Base 3. This caused the cultivators who cultivated the sea transformation art to have an extremely long lifespan. The spirit energy in their bodies surpassed their peers by several times. Coupled with the endless variations of spells, their combat strength could naturally suppress the surroundings. What was even stranger was that when he attacked, the aura of the Forbidden Sea contained in his spirit sea could also form mental pressure, causing his opponent to be weakened. The Che condensation realm was the accumulation of spirit energy in one's body. Moreover, the aura of the Forbidden Sea in the Huahai scripture could cause all people with inferior spirit energy to be intensely intimidated. The Mountains and Seas art is a body-refining cultivation art. When one has mastered the Kui shadow art, it's equivalent to the Great Circle of Perfection in body refining. It's the same as the Great Circle of Che condensation. However, due to the level of the cultivation art, when compared to other high-level cultivation arts, the same Great Circle of Perfection is much weaker. However, because I don't have anomalous substances in my body and I had the support of the purple crystal, the 7th level of the Mountains and Seas art gave me the shadow of a Great Circle of Perfection. My battle prowess is comparable to a person in the Great Circle of Perfection. At the end of the day, the level of the Mountains and Seas art can't be compared to the sea transformation art. One is a body refining technique, while the other is a cultivation technique. Xu Qing's heart stirred as he recalled what the round-faced cultivator had said on the mountain earlier. A long time later, Xu Qing's gaze revealed determination. He also noticed that the upper limit of the spirit sea formed by the sea transformation art wasn't fixed. Everyone's physique was different, and so was the degree of mutation. The lesser the mutation, the greater the upper limit of the spirit sea's range. So far, the highest record in the 7 blood eyes was 60 years ago, when someone reached the Great Circle of Che condensation and formed the spirit sea of 2,700 feet. This person was the current peak master of the 7th peak of the 7 blood eyes. Upon seeing this, Xu Qing's eyes narrowed. He knew that there were no anomalous substances in his body. Then, when I cultivate this sea transformation art, how big of a spirit sea will be formed after I reach perfection? At this moment, Xu Qing's heart was filled with intense anticipation. He felt that if the mutation no longer stopped the upper limit, then his upper limit should be the greatest limit he could endure. Moreover, his body's recovery was very terrifying, so the extent of his endurance would naturally be extremely great. This caused Xu Qing's eyes to shine with unprecedented brilliance. At the same time, he also noticed that the sea transformation are cultivated spells and not body refinement. After the battle with the Diamond Sect, Xu Qing deeply realized the flaw of pure body refinement. Therefore, at this moment, he didn't hesitate at all. After carefully memorizing the cultivation technique, he immediately closed his eyes and began to cultivate the sea transformation art. 1. As he cultivated, the wind started blowing around the small boat. The surface of the sea sparkled as countless spirit energy that contained the aura of the Forbidden Sea, mixed with dense anomalous substances headed straight for Xu Qing's small boat. The protective light barrier could block spells, but it wouldn't block the spirit energy. As the spirit energy gushed in, it drilled into the hair on Xu Qing's body, forming threads. After his body that didn't have any anomalous substances was refined many times, all of his meridians became incomparably clear. This allowed the influx of spirit energy to have no obstruction at all, and it became increasingly violent. His body was like a dried sponge, instantly absorbing the spirit energy and slowly gathering it at his dantian. During this cultivation, Xu Qing faintly sensed that his Mountains and Seas art seemed to be attracted by the sea transformation art and instinctively wanted to circulate it. However, because the flowing meridians were different, he suppressed them. A long time later, as the urge to circulate the Mountains and Seas art grew increasingly intense, Xu Qing's heart stirred. After a moment of silence, he decided not to control it anymore. At the next instant, the unsealed Mountains and Seas art circulated, and the spirit energy that gushed in from all directions suddenly soared by several times. The spirit sea that gathered in his dantian instantly became majestic. This discovery made Xu Qing feel somewhat incredulous. It was as though these two cultivation arts had fused at this moment. Among them, the Mountains and Seas art wasn't fighting against the sea transformation art but was a supporting art. Hence, He decided to expand the vital energy and blood in his entire body, and the shadow appeared outside his body. The moment it appeared, the shadow let out a soundless roar toward the sky. It then stretched out its hands as though it was moving the sea, causing the spirit energy in the forbidden sea to erupt like a surging tide. In that instant, as Xu Qing's mind trembled, the spirit sea in his Danshan directly reached 100 feet. The first level of the sea transformation art was perfected. Xu Qing's body trembled. He didn't have time to think too much and immediately cultivated the second level. Not long later, the second level of the sea transformation art was perfected. So fast, Xu Qing didn't hesitate and immediately cultivated to the third level. The spirit sea in his body continued to expand. 210 feet, 220 feet, 230 feet. Under this continuous eruption, even the spirit energy outside his small boat gradually formed a vortex, causing the wind here to be even stronger. Waves appeared on the surface of the sea, attracting the attention of the guards on the shore. They all stared at it and their expressions changed. Which monstrous disciple is cultivating this speed of absorbing spirit energy? The instant they looked over in shock, the vortex suddenly rumbled and expanded once again, causing the surface of the harbor to undulate even more. A large number of boats swayed along with it, and many disciples frowned as they walked out. They looked over coldly, and very soon, all of them had astonished expressions. What's going on? The vortex was still expanding. In the boat, Xu Qing's entire body was trembling intensely. At that moment, the spirit sea, his body had broken through 300 feet and reached 370 feet. It continued, 380 feet, 390 feet, up to 400 feet. Xu Qing abruptly opened his eyes. The piercing purple light within drowned out the shock in his eyes. Sea transformation art, the fourth level,